Hey guys, it's time to write the functionality of the application in Kotlin. So open the main activity.kt file and write the code here. I'll start coding from here inside the onCreate function. So my code goes here. A function is a piece of code that is called by its name. In this case, the name of this piece of code is onCreate. In fact, the main entry point of an Android application is the onCreate function. It means when you run an Android app, the Android OS calls the onCreate function automatically. So the statements and codes inside its body start to execute line by line. These two lines of code prepare the main activity for execution and display. In fact, this line connects main activity.kt to the activity underline main.xml. Okay, I'll start coding from here. Okay, I'll start coding from here. To calculate a tip, these steps are needed. We will need to get the bill amount from this edit text. We will need to get the tip percent from the sick bar. We will need to calculate the tip amount based on the bill amount and tip percent. We will need to calculate total payment by adding the bill amount with tip amount. And finally, after calculating total payment, we need to display the result. We need to display it here in the text view total payment. Okay, let's start from here. Let's start from here. Let's get the bill amount. To get the bill amount, I'll define a variable called bill amount and initialize it with edit text. Let's use IntelliSense. So select it and press the enter key. Dot text, press enter, dot to a string and press enter key again. Edit text bill amount is the ID of this edit text. As you see, the ID of this edit text is edit text bill amount. By writing the ID, we will access to the edit text, and by adding a dot in front of it, we can access the list of its attributes. Here, we need to access the text attribute of the edit text, because when a user enters a value inside the edit text, the value will be stored in the text attribute of the edit text. So we type dot text dot to a string to access the value the user entered. But as we need to do a math operation on it, we should convert it to an integer number. So the data type of the text is a string. If I click here and press Ctrl Shift and P, you will see that the type of bill amount is a string, inferred to be a string. So we need to change it to int. So type dot and use the function member to int. If I press Ctrl Shift P here, you will see that the bill amount type, the bill amount data type, inferred to be integer. Now we can do math operations on the bill amount. Now the next step is to get the tip percent from the sick bar. It's easy. As you know, we're using a sick bar for tip percent. So we will need to get the current value of the sick bar, and as you know, current value of a seek bar will be held in the progress attribute. So all we need here is to declare a variable called, for example, tip percent and initialize it with what is stored in the progress attribute of the seek bar. So type the seek bar ID, seek bar tip percent, type dot, and search for progress in this list and press the enter key. If I press Ctrl Shift P here, you will see that the data type of the tip percent variable is inferred to be integer because the return type of the progress is int. Okay, now that we have bill amount and tip percent, we can calculate the tip amount based on these variables. So let's declare a variable called tip amount and initialize it with this expression: bill amount times tip percent divided by 100. Okay, so for example, if we consider bill amount equals to $200 and consider tip percent to 10%, the tip amount will be $20. Okay, now that we have bill amount and tip amount, we can easily calculate the total payment by declaring a variable called total payment and initialize it with the sum of bill amount and tip amount. And finally, we can display the result. So I'll set the total payment as the text of the text view total payment. By using this line of code, we assign the value of total payment to the text attribute of the text view total payment. Note that we need to convert total payment that is of type int to a string because the data type of text is a string. So we need to convert it to a string by using the toString function member. Okay, now apparently the code is ready to run. But this code will run immediately after running the app. We don't want this. We want to run the code after the user touches the calculate button. So we need to set a click listener for the button calculate like this. Type set on click listener. Select this one and press the enter key. And again. And now cut the code that calculates the total payment from here and paste it inside the body of the click listener of the button and paste it here. Paste it inside the body of the click listener. Now when the user clicks on the calculate button, the button receives an onClick event, so executes the code in its body. The body of the button's click listener is from here to here. Okay, now let's run the code. Let's test it. Now enter a number as bill amount, for example, $200. As you see, the keyboard only shows numbers because the type of this edit text is number edit text. So it displays only numbers. Okay, the value of the sig bar is 10. So the tip percent is 10 and click on the calculate button. Great. It shows $220 as the total payment. But this app, the tip calculator app, is not completed yet.